So now that we've kind of got a shape to our vocal, it's in the mix. We've EQ'd it against the piano a little bit. We've got this thing sounding pretty sweet. We've got it compressed pretty well, full sounding. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start messing with effects. Now, a good benefit to using this system is that you can apply effects now from a more even sound, a compressed signal that is got its post parallel compression. So some guys will use the parallel compress chain, which is still a great option. Sometimes I'll do that and use effects here. But let's say we wanted a slap delay. Come in here, go up to a vocal slap. Before I dial that in, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find that bus. I've got the send set up right here. And instead of using timeless, I'm going to pull open just a, let's use a digi, maybe let's use the other, where's the other guy at? It's just the stock delay. That actually might be the stock delay now, isn't it? Yep. Okay, cool. So we're going to pull this guy up and 100% wet on each side. I'm probably going to keep the settings the same so that it's a mono slap delay. But let's dial this in. Typically for a slap, I'm going to put these guys at about, I'm going to start them at like 90. And then we'll dial that up. In Pro Tools, if you hold Shift, each control will link together, so you can see that, as I just ruined my 90 millisecond setup. So let's start out. Let's dial in some vocal slap delay right there at the intro.
When I was hanging by a thread, you left me there.
Okay, so that's a little bit too quick. I want a little bit more of a distance between the slap and the vocal, so we're going to slide this guy up a little bit. I'm holding Shift so I get both of them. So now I'm at about 100.
When I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me.
Let's go a little bit more.
When I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, above your emptiness, you left me there. Oh, make amends to this brokenness. Meet me halfway, I want to.
Okay, so the delay's not bad, but it's pretty stale to me. It's just a typical, just a regular digital delay, and I want to add some character to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how I would do that by adding some distortion. Let's try, what's a good one to show? Well, I've got this saturation knob here. This is a free plugin, so if you're not familiar with this, let's try this guy out.
When I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, above your emptiness,
Without it?
you left me there. When I was hanging
With it?
When I was hanging by a thread.
Cool. Let's try, I don't know if I want to hear any of the top end stuff on this, so let's try taking some of it out.
When I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there.
And I'm not digging the timing. Let's maybe try this one out.
When I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, above your emptiness, you left me there. When I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, above your emptiness, you left me there.
So essentially, by cutting the highs and cutting some of the upper mids, I'm focusing that slap delay more in this tone over here. And let's boost and see if we can get a soft, sweet spot.
When I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, above your emptiness, you left me there.
Okay.
When I was hanging by a thread.
Another way to sweeten this up would be to throw a Studer or a tape machine. Turn that off. And then I'm going to try this. This might be a bit drastic, but I really like messing with the cassette deck preset. Whoa, all that noise there. Turn that off. and we're gonna blend this in.
Oh, when I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, above your emptiness, you left me there.
So this is Dry, the original vocal.
Oh, make amends to this brokenness. Meet me halfway, I once begged. Oh, instead I strangled on. You just stood and watched me fall.
So that's not a bad little sound there. Let's try something different. Let's go. I know that little. Let's see. Actually, good old Nectar. Let's bypass all this and let's pull open delay. Let's make sure we're at 0% dry, 100% wet. And I like the settings on this as well. Let's give this a shot. What we're at 200 milliseconds. Let's pull it down to 90 and we'll work our way up.
Oh, when I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, above your emptiness, you left me there.
Make it mono, so we took away the width.
Oh, make amends to
Spread it
this
out.
brokenness. Meet me halfway, I once begged. Oh, instead I strangled on.
See what trash does.
You just stood and watched me fall.
That's not bad. Some distortion in it.
Oh, again.
Just try an analog slap.
Cut me down, you cut me down. From my core straight to the ground. Cut me down, you cut me down. To this darkness now I'm found. Let it rain, Lord, let it rain. Soaking up this healing pain.
We can control our
Wash
synths.
away, wash away.
This dry.
Memories of what was slain.
That's got a pretty sweet effect itself, and there's all these options. You can add saturation. Let's pull that
Oh,
up.
when I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, above your emptiness, you left me there.
Let's exaggerate it.
Oh, make amends to this brokenness. Meet me halfway, I once begged. Oh, instead I strangled on.
Yeah, so it's definitely giving a tone to the vocal. So that's kind of a quick walkthrough on vocal slaps. You typically want to go start around 90 milliseconds and pull that up anywhere from to 100, 110, 120, and then don't feel like you're limited to that. Experiment. It doesn't have to be a proper slap. If you go beyond that and it sounds good, then trust your ears. But experiment with delay times in milliseconds. Slide that up and back and forth, and experiment there. But then the best thing is just, man, add some character, add some distortion, EQ the crap out of it, do what you want with it, experiment with getting some tones there. And then as you're going to see, I'm going to do that in pretty much every instance of delay that we have here. So let's say that we liked what we just did. Let's actually pull that back in. Let's pull some of that a little bit down, be a little more.
Oh, when I was hanging by a thread.
So there's our slap delay we're going to go with. Excuse me. Now let's mute it.
Oh, when I was hanging.
No character to that. Now let's listen.
Oh, when I was hanging by a thread. You left me there, you left me.
Yeah, it's got a nice little something to it. So let's pull, remember on our isotope, we've got some saturation there, and the delay is allowing us to add some trash to it. So we're going to make these other ones inactive. Maybe use some EQ in a minute. But now what I want to do is I'm going to start building a stereo instance. I'm going to kind of put it in a bigger space. And we're going to do that with, let me show you one more instance of slaps. Take a slap delay on the left and show you what this can do.
Oh, when I was hanging by a thread. You left me there, you left me there.
So now it leans to the left a little bit. You kind of hear what's going on over there. Let's check and see. I think it starts out around 90 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds. And then the one on the right side is just different than that. It's going to be 90. So let's take a listen to this one. Let's send it to both the left and the right. So DG slaps L, and then I'm going to go to slaps R. Let's take a listen.
Oh, when I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, and
Let's bypass them.
oh, when I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there. Oh, and above your emptiness, you left me there.
Very cool. I typically will control how much I'm sending by the send level, but over here, a good thing to do might be to group these and call them the slaps. Yeah, stereo slaps, and now these will work together. So if you keep it low.
Oh, when I was hanging by a thread, you left me there, you left me there.
And pull it up at some phrases. You might be able to automate that and have some fun with it. Some cool effect going on there. Let me show the, let's see if I have it in this template. The one that I really like is the doubler using Nectar 2. That can work really well as well. Let's do that, and then we'll move on from doubling with plugins. And let's throw it to doubler right there. And I'm boosting a little bit at like 7K. I've got 2 unison harmonies coming in here, so it's doubling this vocal. And then what I'm doing is I'm adding a 10% pitch difference, and I'm shifting the time a little bit, very, very slightly by 2%. And we're going to see what we get. Let's throw them out wide. I guess that's what these would be here for. And let's see what this does.
Oh, when golden medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day.
Let's exaggerate it.
Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit, to quench a guiltless feet he squealed.
So that's a pretty awesome sound. You can get that by duplicating the track and shifting them a little bit, and some cool stereo effects you can do with that. Now, I kind of like that. I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to put it in subtle. And then I've got another one called Dimension D. I lied. I'm going to do one more. And I'm going to slide this up and see what we get from this.
Oh, when golden medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day.
Without it?
Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit, to quench a guiltless feet he squealed and gleed.
And then I've got a cool setup over here with my stereo buses. Excuse me. All those effects are going to all effects. So if we take this right there and we mute it, you'll hear nothing but the dry vocal.
Oh, when golden medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll,
Back in.
where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day.
Yeah, so that sounded pretty sweet with those effects. Let's move into some spatial stuff. Now we had that slap delay that was working pretty well. Let's go ahead and bring in a... let's get some verb. Let's go with a plate. Let's pull this in. Come down here. Now I've got the UAD EMT 140 is a beautiful, perfect plate. Incredible emulation of that piece. The stock plate is not going to be too bad. If you go and use an EQ like I'm going to show you afterwards, you can really control the sound of that plate, even if it's a less exact model of an EMT or whatever you want to call your model. But the EQ can really help. So let's pull this in. Let's take a listen and set our reverb time. So let's see here. Pull this back up. Let's blend it in.
Oh, when golden medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh,
okay, so obviously this is in my template, so I've worked with this before. I've set it up and I've got it to my liking. So when I blend it in, it already sounds really good. The delay or the reverb time sounds pretty sweet. And I've got a pre-delay here. Let me talk to you about pre-delay for a minute. Let me pull open my phone. I've got an app that I found. I don't know these people. There's no marketing or anything in this, but I use this day in and day out when I'm working. It's an app called, let's see if I can find it. I use it day in and day out. Where's it at? Producer Tools. And I'm going to have to maybe take a screenshot and show you guys, but in Producer Tools, you have the ability to pull up in a delay calculator. You've got a frequency translator, an EQ guide. They've got some other stuff on here, but the delay calc for me is extremely handy. You can Google it online and find a delay calculator as well, but I keep my phone with me pretty close when I'm working, and which actually it is not always a good thing, but I'm blabbing. Let's get to the point. The tempo of this song has been sitting around 55 and 65. So if you scroll to that BPM, we'll call it 60. We'll meet in the middle. On this app, it'll tell you for what a quarter note would be, what a half note would be. It'll tell you the delay time in milliseconds for that specific BPM. So in this case, for maybe like a 32nd or a 64th, it would be about, let's see, so 62.5 milliseconds. So that gives me in the ballpark. I know that I want to look at maybe around 60 milliseconds or so for a pre-delay and see what that sounds like. And then we can nudge and feel it off from there, especially being that this song wasn't to a perfect tempo. But to get your pre-delay set up, it's a good way to pull that up, set the BPMs, and then...
Growing gold and medals on my high. There was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here I loved.
And now let's hear it without the pre-delay.
Growing gold and medals on my high. There was a time you used to roll.
That verb is just, it's hitting instantly, and it's getting in the way of the vocal performance. By adding pre-delay, what you're doing is you're delaying the time before that reverb reflection hits. So let's put that back up at around 50, 60, and let's get a feel for this.
Growing gold and medals on my high. There was a time you used to roll.
Pull it all the way out.
Where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here I love devoured by this lion of deceit.
Let's blend it back up.
To quench your careless feet, he squealed and gleamed. Growing gold and medals on my high. There was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon.
I like to use reverb to where you start to feel it, not necessarily hear it. And in this case, I think that about there is a good sweet spot. I'm going to mute it and let's listen before and after.
Growing gold and medals on my high. There was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day.
And then without it.
Oh, and here I love devoured by this lion of deceit.
Very nice. Now another thing with reverb that you want to pay attention to will be the depth of the I'm sorry, not the depth of the modulation. We'll talk about that in a minute, but the width of the reverb. Sometimes you may want a really wide reverb. Sometimes you may want to put a widening plug in and make it even wider. But for me, I'm going to try pulling this all the way to mono, and let's see what it sounds like.
Growing gold and medals on my high. There was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here I love devoured.
Yeah, so in mono, it actually sounded really cool, gave it a vibe. And I'm going to try, where's that? There we go, the plate. You'll see on the EQ, I'm cutting below. Sorry to bounce around on you guys like this, but I feel like the most effective way is just kind of show you how I'm working and some of the things that I'm looking at. And I bounce around a lot whenever I mix. I think it's important to go from here to there and just kind of work your way through the song rather than like you sit on the vocal for forever and you're going to miss out on the other things. If you catch something, go fix it. So with the reverb, you'll see if I kind of boost the volume of that and I bypass the EQ on it.
Growing gold and medals on my high. There was a time you used to roll,
Put it back in.
where the sunshine plenty upon your face. there was hope in another day. Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit.
So you can really control the sound of your reverb, the room that you're in, just by taking some low cut and high cut filters and massaging them back and forth until you get the vibe that you're looking for. I don't know that I want all this top end on this song because there's not really, it's just a piano. I don't know that I want him to sound like he was in this big ambient space. If you do, then great, mess around with that. But I kind of like what was happening whenever I got pretty aggressive in pulling that down. And then I don't know that I want all those lows because I think I want the piano to have the low room vibe, and I think I've got that with the Ocean Way up there. But a good way to start is to put you some gentle filters in, both your low cut and your high cut, high pass, low pass, and just kind of start down here and just kind of massage it in while it's playing, and listen for the sweet spot. Listen to what your ear is liking, and then massage it. Now the other thing is you can come in here and you can compress the reverb. Let's pull open. Let's try an L2007. Never really done this before. Let's see what we get.
When gold and medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face.
Okay, so obviously we made it louder. Now let's pull back on how much we're sending into it and see. You'll see we're getting it's compressing it, but we're getting a nice filled out sound from this reverb. Let's see what we get whenever we pull it out and bring it back in.
When gold and medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit.
Yeah, so there's something going on there. Let's try a different compressor. Let's pull in. I don't know if I got a. Let's see. Let's like get to it. Just pick one. Let's try one of these, the plug and mix. Let's go with. Shoot. Let's use this one, Degradiator. This isn't a compressor. This is a bit crusher. Let's try to crush it a little bit.
When gold and medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit. To quench a careless feet, he squealed me. When gold and medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sunshine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit. To quench a careless feet, he squealed and gleamed.
Yeah, man, that's doing something pretty sweet to it. So saturation, some distortion, the Degradiator from, if I'm saying that correctly, from Plug and Mix. I think if you go to Plug and Mix, they still do a deal where you get a free plugin from liking them on Facebook, I think it is, or giving, subscribing to their mailing list. But their plugins are already super usable, and they're not very expensive at all. I think they sell each plugin for $30 each or something like that. I use their Tremolo trim pan all the time, and that one is extremely usable. So I kind of like that. I'm going to leave that alone and move on. Let's talk. Let's mute the plate, and let's say we wanted a room sound. Now, this is going to be kind of fancy with you because I'm using the Ocean Way room sound. But let's solo the vocal and take a listen to the Ocean Way. Let's send it to the Ocean Way first. Goofball. Let's go here. If I remember, it's room. Let's make sure that routing is correct. And we've got room. Yep, correct. So now the Ocean Way, pull that up and look at it. And this one is this is a beast of a plugin. And you see we've only got this one in We're at about 7.5 feet back, and it's got a C12 emulation. We're going to pull up some Love with the Ocean Way and see what we get.
Oh, in golden meadows on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sun shine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit. To quench your guiltless feet, he squealed and gleed.
That's got a vibe. Let's hear that in the track.
Oh, in golden meadows on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sun shine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day.
Back in.
Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit.
Man, that sounds incredible. And that's just a just a small room sound to put it in a space. So if you get, oftentimes we're like, we got to record these vocals in the booth. We got to get a perfect sound. It's got to be tight, controlled. And I'm almost always adding a little bit of a room sound to it, as if it was recorded in a, I mean, obviously the Ocean Way is a beautiful room. It's a beautiful space, professional studio, legendary studio. But taking even your stock room reverb, sending a little bit of the vocal into that space just kind of helps to massage it into a place where, instead of it being perfectly clear and bright and right there, I don't know, I'm not a huge big reverb fan, but I feel like that little bit of room can help give the vocal character that can help your mixes stand apart, be set apart from some of the other guys who are drenching things in reverb. But I think it's more modern to have less room sound anyways. But so that's one vibe. Let's take a look at this, the Hall. You got the Lexicon 224. You guys can pull open your stock Lexicon, and it works, or stock Hall, and it works well pretty much any situation. It's not really a have to have the UAD thing. Try to say that enough. Let's listen.
Whoa, and go.
Need to get more sleep is pretty much what this is coming down to. Let's take the Hall. Let's route it. Let's see what we get.
Whoa, in golden meadows on my high, there was a time you.
Okay, so this Hall is set to about 3.5 seconds of decay time. A big part of using reverbs well is going to be your decay time and your pre-delay. Now, we talked about pre-delay and how to find that. Let's see what this one's set at. It's about 36, so we dragged that up. We knew it was about 60 milliseconds or so. That gave us a pre-delay that we liked. It was a 64th note. Because we're working with a fluctuating tempo. But the decay time is so important. What I try to do is I try to close my eyes, look away from the screen, and just feel what, like, if there were drums to the song, where that snare would be hitting on the 2 or the 4, whatever it is. And I try to listen for the verb decay across my mix to die out right before the next hit. So to give you an example of that, let's hit play. And I'm just going to kind of finely tune the decay of this one. Now you can see the Lexicon gives you control over the decays in the different bands. I'm mostly going to focus on the top end here, because that's where, in my opinion, you really get the sound of a reverb, is in the decay of the top end. So let's take a listen.
Whoa, in golden meadows on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sun shine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit. To quench your guiltless feet, he squealed and gleed.
Yeah, so like I said, this is a fluctuating tempo, but shorter decay time there sounds really good. Let's go ahead and pull these down to kind of match that vibe. And let's pull it out, and then we'll blend it in.
Whoa, in golden meadows on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sun shine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit. To quench a guiltless feet, he squealed.
And then just because we're curious, let's boost it quite a bit, and let's hear how washy it gets whenever you boost the decay in your reverb tails.
Oh, when golden medals on my high, there was a time you used to roll, where the sun shine plenty upon your face. There was hope in another day. Oh, and here our love devoured by this lion of deceit. To quench a guiltless feet, he squealed in glee.
All right, guys, so I hope you've enjoyed the overview, the walkthrough of kind of my A to Z for this vocal from Harry Gettings' song Thread. Now, I debated on whether or not to continue and show you automating effects for this song, but I do a lot of that in these other songs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over and we're going to jump into the style-specific videos, genre-specific, and I'm going to show you all kinds of automation tricks, some more effects, show you the individual effects that I picked out for each of those styles, and give you kind of a vibe from that. So thanks again. We'll see you in those videos, and yeah, here we go.